Last year, AJ Brown was famous for sitting on the bench reading inner excellence. This year, he's been saying that the best way this team can win is to make sure the offense runs through him. Emmanuel, what is your take on this situation?
Man, you asking a prima donna receiver that question.
Whoa, I wasn't going to say that,
listen,
but you are an expert.
Hey, listen, I was a diva, and I did enjoy getting the ball.
Welcome to the Chubbies League Fantasy Football Show with me, Ian Rapoport, a.k.a. your commissioner. We got a lot going on today, a lot to get to in this episode. First of all, fantasy football-wise, the fantasy trade deadline is right around the corner. We'll discuss who you should target to help make your fantasy team, I would say, just a little bit better, or maybe get ready for that playoff push. Also, we are recording this before the Thursday night game, before Bills-Texans. So hopefully nothing crazy happens in that game. Also, we got some special guests to get to in the show, early NFL playoff predictions, and a very tasty Thanksgiving spread for all of you guys to weigh in on. Plus, because this is Chubbies, we got some new ways for you to take home some sweet swag, kind of like I'm wearing and some of my friends will be wearing in a second. So stick around for later in the show. Not only will we reveal some new prizes, we got a little special something in store for the ultimate fantasy flop. Let's welcome back our Chubbies ambassadors. You know him as the guy who never uses the bathroom, but whose fantasy team is always in the toilet. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of NFL Red Zone, Scott Hanson.
Wait a minute. I couldn't hear what you said to me there, Ian. Can you repeat? I'm having a hard time hearing him. Technical difficulties. I don't know. No, but it's been a little, not the cleanest fantasy season in the Chubbies League for your boy here. I'm busy on Sundays, fellas.
And we watch you on Sundays, which we love. Of course, we also have our Super Bowl champion who's playing in his first year of fantasy football and currently has sole possession of the final playoff spot. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmanuel Sanders.
Hey, Scott, you want to bring out some hardware? Don't make me bring out my hardware now. Come on now.
Oh, boy.
You see this? I bring out the hardware, too.
You just have that thing hanging around?
Hey, God, it's just sitting right there in my office. Hey, got to look at it every single day. Hey, I can't believe I'm in the playoffs. First time playing fantasy? Come on now, guys.
Pretty good.
Hey, I made some picks. The Rasheed Rice pick, I was like, that wasn't good, but it's turning out to be pretty good now.
It is good to be back. And I'm only teasing you because there is a lot on the line. We will talk to you soon. Thank you for hanging out with us.
For sure, boys. Good luck.
All right, George. Good to see you, bro.
If you beat Scott, I'll send you a present.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, E, how confident are you that you're going to be getting that present from our good friend, George Kittle?
See, I'm glad you guys reminded me because I had forgot he said that. But Scott is in last place. I don't think there's a chance that he can even catch up. He's 3-8. I'm 7-4. I'm rolling. He's not. And I'm going to remind Kittle to give me that damn gift. I hope it's like a Lamborghini or Ferrari. You guys remember he said that, right?
I remember he said something. And now
I'll split it with you, Ed. I'll split it with you.
Speaking of gifts, the Bengals might be getting Joe Burrow back a little sooner than expected. I know we got a lot of fantasy stuff to get to. I want to get to some NFL stuff first and get your thoughts on it. I want to start with you, E.
Okay.
Bengals have struggled. Defense has been a struggle. Joe Burrow is back at practice for the second straight week. What do you expect from Cincinnati down the stretch?
I don't know, man. Defensively, they still scare me. I mean, they got Jamar Chase, which I'm not too happy with him right now. You know, they got T. Higgins. Man, when Joe came over there, man, Joe was on fire. I mean, that game versus Pittsburgh with him and Aaron Rodgers going at it, how fun was that to watch?
Ooh.
But, you know, they get Joe back, and I think Joe is one of those guys that make guys believe, right? He steps into the huddle, and they automatically believe he's the leader of the team. And so I think just getting him back just on the coaching staff and just around the organization, it's going to be a good feeling to have him back in there. I don't know, how bad is it in the AFC North? Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and then what are they in third place, right?
Yeah, but neither Pittsburgh or Baltimore is pulling away from the rest of the group. I think Cincinnati is going to have a decision to make about Joe Burrow. If he comes back and they give him a clean bill of health,
yeah,
and they're sitting at 3-7 right now, if they're mathematically eliminated, how much exposure do you want to to a guy who's had an injury history now. I mean, we have an NFL media insider with us here who could tell us more about the time frame, but people I had heard Thanksgiving bandied about for Burrow's return. If not Thanksgiving, then certainly early in December, you'd figure he'd be available. What is the math at that point for the division and for a wild card spot? If it's eliminated, do you want to expose a franchise quarterback who has an injury history to a late season injury that could cost you the beginning of next year?
And so what would you do, Scott? What would you do?
And, look, I play to win, which is too much of a cliche because if you play to win on any individual game, you might be costing yourself something more down the road.
It's tough.
If you're mathematically eliminated and you know that Burrow...
Why risk it? Why risk it?
Why risk it? I mean, we've seen... I think that's the topic of conversation that's going around the NFL right now, starting with the terribly unfortunate circumstance that happened to my fantasy quarterback, Jayden Daniels, in a game in garbage time when maybe I would still be in last. But we saw it this last weekend. I was announcing on Red Zone that starting quarterbacks were coming out of the game with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
It was crazy.
Yep. And the quarterbacks that got injured this week. So it's a tough decision, though. I think that you got to send a message to the franchise, though, that you need to play to win even in December if the math doesn't line up and you're paying Joe Burrow elite money. We got to get some production out of it. Not to mention you owe it to the fans who have bought season tickets to see maybe the best quarterback in the NFL when he's healthy.
No, that's exactly right. Let me go through the Burrow timeline first.
Okay.
You're right. So he's got 3 weeks to get back. He's got 21 days to be cleared. He's targeting the Thanksgiving game against the Ravens. My understanding is that's possible, but more likely is the next week against the Bills. Will they still be alive? For the Washington Commanders, and you guys can get into this in a second because I'll be interested to hear what you think. They've lost a couple in a row, lost to the Dolphins, got beat badly by the Lions. They got a bye. It's a dislocated left elbow for Jayden Daniels. Does it make sense as the franchise quarterback, but you know he's going to want to play? Does it make sense for him, Emmanuel, I'll start with you, to be out there playing for his team, knowing that he wants to show this locker room how valuable football is to him and all of that?
Yeah, I think ultimately, even with Joe Burrow, I think it's going to come down to the player, right? And how good do they feel and how confident that they feel in going out there and performing. We can sit back and say, "Oh, we're not in playoff contention and we don't have anything to gain." But at the end of the day, a competitor in me, I'm saying, no, I don't give a damn. I love football. I want to line it up. I feel good. Why would I not be out there with my brothers? So I think ultimately it's going to come down to Joe Burrow. Is how healthy does he feel? Can he go? Because Joe Burrow loves ball, regardless if it's the last game of the year or not. He's like, nah, let me go out there. I haven't played all year. Let me go out and get some reps and let me enjoy getting a win with my brothers. I think Jayden Daniels' situation the same way. I know that's how I would approach it.
Both these guys have the keys to the franchise in their palm. That's unquestioned, right? How could you hold the keys to the franchise on the bench, on the sideline, if you've been given a clean bill of health by the medical professionals? And to Emmanuel's point, you got that dog inside of you. You got that competitive fire inside of you. And even if it's December and your team only has 4 more games, maybe 5 more games, depending on what week they come back to play, how could your conscience let you do that? Sometimes you need to protect the player from himself. But in Daniel's case, as gruesome as it looked, it was about as good of an outcome as you could have hoped for. Not major structural damage, didn't require surgery. It's the left arm. You can JJ Watt brace that thing up and get him back out there. Something like that happening again, or it would be a low percentage. I think we see Daniels again before the end of the year. Not to mention the hot seat that is developing on the head coach there in Washington.
Well, I'm going to get to another fascinating situation too. The New England Patriots are good. Talk about dogging them.
Scary.
We know that Drake May's got that dog in him. And if there's anyone here who has ultimate expertise in the Patriots, no offense, Scott, it's not you. Emmanuel, what do you think about these New England Patriots? And I guess I'll get right to kind of what I'm asking. Do you think Drake May has a chance to be the MVP?
100%. I mean, what tells me he can? Man, what a good job even with Stephon. This guy's coming off an ACL, and the way that he's balling, I would have thought that it would have took him at least another year to kind of bounce back. I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, this guy has an opportunity to go to the Pro Bowl after tearing his ACL, and the energy that he's bringing over there. I was with him over in Buffalo, and he's a leader. He's a leader of men like Travion Henderson. You know, I guess Diggs talked to him in the locker room at halftime. He comes out and scores 2 touchdowns. He's like, man, Diggs just had a conversation with me. That's the type of leader he is. And then Mike Vrabel. I didn't like that they fired, you know, the coach over there, but then they brought Vrabel over, and you hear Vrabel in the locker room. He has those guys believing. He has them believing. And so, I mean, at first, I didn't think the Patriots would be even close to winning the AFC East. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, they have a chance.
They had an excellent chance for the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC to go through Foxborough. I mean, the way it's lining up right now, it's between the Patriots, the Colts, who were on the bye, and then the team that you got on your beautiful Chubbies
I'm not
shirt
saying that.
right there. Well, but those are the 3 hottest teams, not only in the AFC, but in the NFL. This is the Patriots in 2025 are a microcosm of why we love professional football.
For sure.
This was a 4-win team 2 years ago, a 4-win team last year. They were drafting in the top 5, drafting in the top 10, and now they're in play for a division title, a conference title, and maybe a Super Bowl title. Drake May is absolutely in the conversation for MVP. I personally believe that NFL MVP voting goes a little bit like Heisman Trophy voting. They look at, is it a quarterback? Right. Is he on an elite team, wins and losses wise? Yes and yes for Drake May. And then what was his stat line like through the course of the season? And then did he make a closing argument towards the end of the regular season, just like Heisman voting? Someone's going to have a boffo 350-yard, 4-touchdown, no interception performance in a major game that will determine playoff seeding in late December. And that person will win the MVP.
I feel like it'll come down to either Jonathan Taylor or Drake May, whoever gets that number 1 seed.
All right, well, we got one more fascinating situation I want you guys to weigh in, and I want to start with Emmanuel here. AJ Brown. So last year, AJ Brown was famous for sitting on the bench reading Inner Excellence. This year, he's famous for, I don't really know. It was talking on a Twitch stream. It was calling for the ball but not getting it. He wants to win so badly, but he's been pretty real in saying that the best way this team can win is to make sure the offense runs through him. Emmanuel, what is your take on this situation?
Oh, man, you asking a prima donna receiver that question.
Well, I wasn't going to say that,
listen,
but, you are an expert.
Hey, listen, I was a diva, and I did enjoy getting the ball. But if I could tell you that AJ Brown is taking it too far, to me, he's taking it too far, including the media and in how he's going about doing it. You keep those things internal, no matter how frustrated you are. But now it's almost seeming like a circus a little bit in the way that he's going about doing it. You know, it's kind of childish, if you ask me. Because if you want the ball, you go to Hurts and you talk to the offensive coordinator and you try to work it out. And you let them know that it's coming from a good place in terms of, I want to help this team win. But once you include the media, now it's a distraction to the team. And you don't want to be a distraction to the team, because ultimately the goal is to win a Super Bowl, and you're a band of brothers going out to the play, and you want guys to trust you. And the way that he's going about doing it, I would never go about it that way.
I would say this: the NFL is better with at least one diva-ish wide receiver in it. I mean, back in the day, Ian, we used to have, when T.O. was doing his thing and when Randy Moss was having, a weekly thing and whatnot, it was almost too much at that point. And then the wide receiver position got a little bit of a bad rap. These days, the elite wide receivers, kind of flatline guys. Justin Jefferson doesn't, no problems. Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase within the last, 2 days as an exception, mostly fine. I used to work in Philadelphia. And I always said this: when it's going good in Philadelphia, when the teams are winning, it's great. But when it's going bad, it's almost better. And they're a little bit like, remember Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby's dad? Remember when he was like sat at the Chili's and the family's back reunited and everything seems to be going great and he just gets itchy and twitchy. That's the way, like they want a little bit of craziness going on. Yeah. Philadelphia, the market, I love the sports market. They're a little bit like that. And you saw he got targeted early and often in this last Philadelphia game. No doubt things are going to ramp up with AJ Brown and the Eagles as we get closer to the postseason. Speaking of postseason, it's actually crazy to think about. So do you guys know that if the playoffs started right now, the Chiefs and the Lions would not be in it? And I know it's early. But while we are on the subject, I want to have some fun with you guys. And as of today, I want to see if you could give me a surprise team that would make the playoffs. And then I want your Super Bowl 60 pick. Scott, I will start with you. Okay. Who do you think as an outside chance
of making the playoffs and going on a run? And who's your early Super Bowl pick?
I need to have a little clarification here. I would pick the Chiefs at this point because at this point right now, they would be a surprise. They're at 500.
Yeah.
We have not seen this. Now, no one would say you can't call the Chiefs a surprise team to make the playoffs. The division seems like it's probably out of reach right now, which is incredible to say after 9 straight AFC West championships. But I would say the Chiefs until someone proves otherwise. The Travis Kelce connection looks good again with Mahomes. Andy Reid knows what buttons to push. That deep look at if they make 1 or 2 more plays in Denver, they beat the Broncos, one of, if not the best team in the AFC, in their stadium. And then we're talking about, oh, there it is. They're back. And you know what? They're going to stack wins and whatnot. Like, it's not like they're horrible. They're losing close games, which is shocking. But I would still put my trust in Mahomes if I had to. And by the way, the Ravens are on the outside looking in the playoff picture right now, too. So think about this. Pre-Thanksgiving, we're saying Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, all on the outside looking in with a lot of football to be played. It's still shocking.
All right, Emmanuel, what about you? What team can you see making a run here and who has the best chance to be hoisting that Lombardi in February, the same Lombardi that is literally sitting right behind you?
I mean, for me, you always got to start with quarterbacks, right? And when I was in San Fran with Kyle Shanahan, we played against Lamar Jackson. And when I tell you, I've never seen a coaching staff more scared of a player than that. And so we're talking about the Ravens on the outside, but they still got Lamar Jackson, somebody who's feared in this league. And so that's a guy that can go on a run. Obviously, he was hurt. I think he was still a little banged up when he got back, but I think as the season goes on, he's going to get healthier and healthier. And Baltimore is going to be scary. They are always scary as long as they got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So that's a team right there that I can see going on the run as well.
Let's just say the Ravens put enough together to get a wild card, or the division is still in play for Baltimore. And let's just say that Kansas City finds a way to get at least into the playoffs. Okay. Who wants to see Mahomes on wild card weekend coming into their stadium? Who wants to see Lamar Jackson coming into their stadium on wild card weekend?
No one. All right, some great picks. You guys are the best. Some bold takes, I would say. Speaking of pretty strong takes, the last time we got together, you guys had some bold picks too. Scott, you had a great take on the Green Bay Packers ground game.
I am good with Josh Jacobs. I think JT, Kyron, and Josh Jacobs kind of all in that same tier where we're picking right now. So Tim Galanians and Scott Hanson proudly pick the Green Bay Packers RB1, Josh Jacobs.
Now, Jacob's a little banged up now. We'll see if he ends up playing this week. But for the bulk of the season, that pick has been absolutely money. However, you also had a bold take on not one, but 2 Commanders, and both are looking, ice cold.
Arguably the greatest rookie season at the most important position on the field in NFL history. Give me the Heisman Trophy winner. Give me a guy who's going to be an MVP candidate in the NFL this year, Jayden Daniels. This is for the deep fantasy nerd fantasy heads. He is a guy who is rocketing up boards. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill.
Scott, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I think I had the wrong prescription on my glasses when I picked Bill. I think that's what I love it. What my excuse would be for that. No, look I knew I was taking a flyer there. And by the way, in the first month of the season, he did elevate. He was 4th on the depth chart to begin the year. He was RB1 in Washington. Obviously, rookie wall or whatever you want to put it, or Washington is just kind of spiraled. And then, of course, the Jayden Daniels thing. Even prior to the elbow, he wasn't lighting it up. A couple swings and misses there. It's fantasy football. Although I will take credit for that Josh Jacobs pick. Double-digit touchdowns. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's one.
Yep.
Emmanuel, you got one. During the draft, you were bold with your first quarterback off the board.
I'm going to go Josh Allen.
I thought you might go Josh Allen. First quarterback. Is that the first quarterback off the board?
First quarterback off the board. Hey, I'm not saying that I'm a fantasy king, but I'm getting pretty close. I'm having a lot of fun with this fantasy stuff. It is
all right.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but now I'm really enjoying watching you too, Scott, on Red Zone.
My man, I appreciate we got you covered.
So, Emmanuel, you're around the Broncos a ton. Actually, last time we hung out, we were standing on the field during Broncos practice in training camp, they've had a really, really strong season. However, one guy that you were pretty high on hasn't exactly killed it in fantasy.
You know what? I'm going to go Evan Ingram. You should have saw how Sean Payton was raving about him. And I was watching him in practice. I mean, he looks fast. He's like a receiver out there. He can have 100 catch a year. He can be the new Mike Thomas. Yeah, I like how y'all got cold take on that because that was definitely cold.
That was cold. Yeah, ice cold.
Yeah, I was absolutely wrong about that. Trust me. The first like 3 weeks, I was like, what is going on? Come on. So I ended up benching him, man. He's sitting right now. I'm surprised though, man, because I'm telling you, when I saw him at the training camp, it looked like he was going to have a big year. But for some reason, they're just not using him. But the Broncos offense in general, it's not.
Their passing attack is kind of hard to figure because Bo Nix is throwing. He's high volume in terms of attempts. Look, they just need to get enough because that defense is salty.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing this without Patrick Surtain over the last few weeks, too. So,
all right. Good stuff from both of you guys. Moving on. Let's welcome back a guy who knows what he's doing in fantasy. Not saying you guys don't, but this guy actually does. He is currently in first place in the Chubbies League. Joey Avery.
Joey,
welcome back.
It is great to be back. It's great to be in first place. Scott, Emmanuel, Ian. Honestly, any of you guys, if you want, I'll drop my personal number in the chat. And if you guys ever have questions about football, feel free to
so offensive.
Feel free to reach out.
So, Joey, we understand you got a little trivia game for us.
I do. We have a little holiday-themed game. So the holidays are right around the corner, and, Thanksgiving's coming up. We're all excited for it for a lot of reasons, not just because you want to watch your dad and his brother bring up fights from 20 years ago, but because it's football time. I'm pumped. I'm going to be absolutely hammered on my couch watching ball like a real American. But today, we have a little game that I'm calling Chubsgiving. What I have is a list of players here, and each one captures the essence of a different piece of the Thanksgiving feast. I'm going to read you the category.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some clues, and then you're all going to guess which player it is. It'll be easy. I promise.
Let's go.
Yeah. If fantasy is any indication, we'll see how you do in this game, Scott. I don't know. Let's start here with number one. This is the turkey. Okay. Every Thanksgiving meal starts with a centerpiece you can trust, someone who is doing exactly what you thought and having a great year. This is the guy who's the star of your feast and your team week after week. Clue number one. Last season, this player had over 1,500 total yards and is on pace to break that total for 2025 this weekend. Clue number two. His team is 6-0 every time he's rushed over 80 yards in a game. And clue number three, since coming into the league in 2020, he's only played one full season. Emmanuel, I heard you rumbling there. I'll let you guess first.
It's not Jonathan Taylor, is it?
That's a guess. Scott, do you have a guess?
I got a different one then, because you didn't say what position. Is it Justin Jefferson?
I'll guess Saquon.
And
good guess.
Emmanuel is the winner. Is Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I figured I couldn't take his answer after he had it.
Let's go.
I mean, he's been crazy this year. If you have him on your team, you're in a good spot.
I wish.
That's going to be the MVP if I had to put my money on it.
I wish that too. And it'll be a quarterback, but.
Last running back to win the MVP. There's a trivia question for you.
Adrian Peterson, right?
It was Adrian Peterson. Sean Alexander before him.
I'll get in touch with the MVP committee and let you guys know.
Yeah, let them know, man. No quarterback.
Okay, we're moving on here. So this is the mashed potatoes. This is maybe a guy you thought would be good, but whoa, you forgot how good they really are, and now you just want more. Kind of a sneaky star of the feast. Here's clue number one. He's averaging 9.9 yards per catch this season. Clue number two. So far in 2025, his longest catch was 39 yards, and his longest rush was this past week with a 20-yard run. And clue number three, and this should, if you're on the fence, this should help. He's the son of a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Scott, you can guess first.
That would be CMC. Obviously, one of the greatest dual threat running backs of his generation, maybe of all time.
I feel like he isn't even having a great rushing season.
He's not.
But as like a slot receiver and out of the backfield, he's transcendent. It's crazy. Emmanuel, aren't you offended that a running back can be such a good receiver?
Oh, I'm not offended at all. Not offended at all. I mean, what he's doing is special, right? He's catching the ball and being able to run. And I think like running backs like that are to come more. Oh, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I got a running back out here. I coach Little League, and I'm like, dude, you want to be able to catch and run the ball, because that's an offensive coordinator's dream to have a guy, because now you keep the defense on their feet or on their toes.
It is interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's true. They're on their feet either way. Moving on to number 3. This is going to be the stuffing, something you can never have too much of. It's often overlooked, maybe underappreciated, but that's just it. Stuffing doesn't care about you either. All right. This guy brings the good stuff year after year. Clue number 1. He's finished in the top 5 of his position in half-point PPR every year from 2021 to 2024. Clue number 2, since week 8, he's averaging a touchdown per game and over 16 red zone receiving yards per game. And clue number 3, he said Emmanuel Sanders is the best-dressed teammate he's ever had.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, that sounds about
now
right.
he is.
You see my Chubbies gear, man. Is that Cortland Sutton?
There's one guess.
I was going to say Jamar Chase, but he wasn't a teammate of Emmanuel's. I don't know. Scott, what do you got?
I was going to go Cortland Sutton, but...
Well, we got Diggs. We got Deebo Samuel, right?
Deebo would be another one.
That's still in the league.
That's my guess. Officially Deebo.
I'll go Cortland Sutton because half-point PPR, Sutton's not a 100-catch guy. But he catches touchdowns.
No one's got it. I'm going to give it to you.
Go
and
ahead.
we should have known, because I think that this quote might have been said on the first episode. It's our guy. It's George Kittle.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, we think a receiver.
Yeah.
He catches, he blocks, he does everything.
Should have known
he's got a
gonna
hammy,
be so
but we
mad.
all do.
Oh,
He's going to be
yeah.
so mad.
Yeah.
He's going to kill all of us.
If you have George on your team heading down the stretch for playoffs, he's coming online at the right time. The Niners have a nice little easy schedule going down the stretch. That's someone you want to have in fantasy. And we'll move on to player number 4. This is the cranberry sauce, a guy who's looked good, but maybe a little volatile to trust down the stretch. If you ask for seconds, he might give you some heartburn and indigestion, which is not fair to cranberry sauce, which I love, but that's neither here nor there. Clue number 1, despite being a fantasy league winner a few years ago, he hasn't finished inside the top 30 at his position since 2017.
Oh.
Clue number 2.
30.
Since week 6, he's averaging over 2 passing touchdowns and over 21 fantasy points per game. In clue 3, he enjoys dining by himself.
Oh,
Joe Flacco.
All right.
One of the best stories of the whole year.
That fired me up, dude. I feel like that was kind of just a dude's rock moment, and everyone everywhere who's reached that age of manhood was like, yeah, dude, eating by yourself kicks ass. Joe Flacco's just cool as hell.
The element I loved of that actually was he was cognizant enough to say, I would look over, in a bar restaurant or something and see a guy sitting by himself and feel bad for that guy. Like the fact that he had that type of thought and empathy. And then he's like, oh no, now I realize in hindsight, that guy was in heaven. Like he was he was loving.
Just give me some peace and quiet, man.
I loved it. That was awesome.
Okay, moving on. This is dessert with whipped cream on top. This title goes to a guy who is probably that 3rd, 4th, or 5th fantasy pick that is now pushing your team over the top and into the playoffs. Clue number 1. This player has 6 games this season with at least one 40-plus yard catch. Clue number 2. He has over 750 more receiving yards than the next pass catcher on his team. Clue number 3, he wears the flag of Sierra Leone on his helmet.
Ooh, good clue. Did not help me as much as I thought it would.
Scott, I thought you would have knew that. I was like, Scott knows that.
There's the flag. That does sound like a random Scott random red zone fact.
Right? Yeah.
He's blowing away everyone else on his team in receiving yards.
How about Puka Nacua?
Wow. That's a good guess.
That's a good guess.
I think he's Polynesian, though. I'll take a guess because when CeeDee Lamb was out for a bit, George Pickens has just been having a great year. I'll take a wild stab on George Pickens.
2 good guesses. Emmanuel, I'll let you submit.
I don't have a clue.
Throw somebody randomly out there. Who's killing it this year?
I've been enjoying Drake London.
Oh, wait. I got it.
Scott, you looked it up, dude.
I just looked down at my red zone notes real quick, and I got it.
You have your notes in front of you?
What do you got, Scott?
I always have my notes in front of me.
us.
I think it's JSN. I think it's Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, he's killing
That
it right
is
now, too.
the answer.
He's killing it.
It's good.
Yeah.
He's
Good.
There was not a Google search or anything like that. I just looked down at my...
We trust you.
Yeah, just that a little piece of paper.
Yeah.
He has been really good.
Yeah, he was considered wide receiver 14 in fantasy going into the season, but he's absolutely crushing it, averaging over 114 receiving yards per game.
Yeah.
So aside from like CD, Jamar, he's become one of the best,
crazy.
which as a Niners fan and a Michigan fan, I absolutely hate, but the guy is undeniable. Okay, this is the last one. Every Thanksgiving has a wild card on the menu, and I'm not talking about the food. I mean people. You always have that one weird uncle who's showing up, saying weird things, bringing you odd gifts, maybe gets a little couple cocktails in the system. So this is the crazy Uncle Gary of your Thanksgiving feast, and here are your clues. Clue number 1, he's played in over 20 playoff games. Clue 2, despite averaging under 200 passing yards per game in 2025, he's tied for the 4th most passing touchdowns this season with 19. And clue 3, this player's 10th great-grandmother is believed to have been one of the cooks at the first Thanksgiving.
What the hell?
And I think that's a fun fact for its own sake that we'll go back into.
I would like to know more about that one.
I think I got a guess at least, because a guy who's going low yardage passing but high touchdowns is Jalen Hurts, and he's played in 1 million playoff games so far.
That's a good guess, Emmanuel.
I'll say Daniel Jones. I feel like Scott got it right, though.
I'll go with Sam Darnold.
Good guesses. I'm surprised no one got this one. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen. That's your crazy Uncle Gary. You have no idea what he's going to do.
Crazy
and that's
Uncle
the thing
Gary.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts doesn't say even, pass the salt at the table. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and with Aaron, I mean, he's on ayahuasca. He's going to be telling stories.
Sure.
He's going to have some concept about like turkey. Like, now I need to go learn more about how his grandmother was one of the cooks at the first Thanksgiving.
Tryptophan is actually a government mind control drug.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for playing. Those are
good stuff.
This was awesome. Hold on,
stuff.
before we let you go, and this was fantastic. I'm sorry we didn't have better answers to your trivia. Do you have any advice for Scott and or Emmanuel on how to turn around their fantasy seasons?
I'm not going to give Emmanuel any because I'm in first and he's going to make the playoffs. So just keep doing your thing. Scott, I have actually a very simple piece of advice, and it's called set your lineup.
You may or may not know when last minute, start sits happen 15 minutes before kickoff. I'm kind of busy.
Right.
Not to make excuses, but there's my excuse.
Waivers are on Wednesday, Scott. Think about it.
Thanks, Joey. Great stuff. Appreciate you, man. Joey's the best,
guys.
though.
That was good stuff, awesome. But I'm a little disappointed in us.
The fantasy playoffs are just a few weeks away, and with the leagues having their trade deadlines right around the corner, we asked some of our friends in the fantasy football community to share their top trade targets. We're going to stick with the Thanksgiving theme, play a little game called Making Room or Had Enough. We'll share some players from our friends in the fantasy football community, and Scott and Emmanuel, you can let us know whether you're making room for this guy in your roster, in other words, via trade or free agency, or whether you've had enough and get him out of there. So let's hear from our first guest. This is Matt from YapMat.
This might sound crazy, but if you have Ramondre Stevenson or have a chance to get him, he will help you win your league, especially if you're thin at running back. Now, I know Travion Henderson is playing really good football, and there is a chance he gets a larger workload. However, there is still a strong chance for Ramondre Stevenson to have a significant role in this Patriots offense. When Henderson had his breakout game against the Bucs, Terrell Jennings still had double double-digit carries, and he only played a fraction of the snaps. And let's not forget, he left that game early with an injury. When Ramondre Stevenson is fully healthy, he can play in that role. And the Patriots have the best remaining schedule for running backs over the rest of the season. Plus, in the fantasy championship round, they're playing the New York Jets, whose run defense got even worse after trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, who were two of their three best run defenders per PFF. Do not give up on Ramondre Stevenson just yet.
All right, Scott, you heard that impassioned plea.
Yeah.
Making room or had enough for Ramondre?
Oh, man. Those were some excellent points. However, I guess I would have two questions. One, does Mike Vrabel take into consideration anyone's fantasy team when deciding his snap share at any given point? No. Two, is Mike Vrabel pro or anti-fumbling? Look at, not that Ramondre's, a fumbler and whatnot, but he has been lax with ball security, and Vrabel won't have that. So I think I've had enough there.
Emmanuel?
Yeah, I think I've had enough too. But here's the thing: there is room for Stevenson to get some carries. But again, I go back to the Bills game. I'm like, man, this guy has a fumbling problem. And you're right, Mike Vrabel, he's not going to put up with that. Look, they have an opportunity to not only make it to the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl, take this team far. And if this guy, every time he touches the ball, we're holding our breath and sit back and saying, oh, will he hold on to it? That's not going to be good. But it's a good take on his behalf because there is room. Look, I picked up Tyler Algier for the Falcons, and he's splitting carries with Bijan, and both of them are really doing well for my fantasy. So I get his take on it, but I'm with you, Scott. The fumbling, I'm not comfortable with that.
Next, we have Jake from Fantasy Headlines.
Sometimes you just got to buy low on a player and hope that it works out. Right now, in 2025, that buy low player is Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver of the San Francisco 49ers. And I know a lot of casuals will look at his box score and just see 21 catches, 327 yards, and no touchdowns, and just think that he's a waste of a roster spot. That right there is perfect and exactly why you can steal him for next to nothing. Because what those people forget is that Ricky Pearsall has already flashed legit alpha upside before his knee injury. Back in week 3 against Arizona, he had 8 catches for 117 yards on 11 targets. That's basically a 20-point PPR game without even scoring a touchdown. And if you look at his 21 catches for 327 yards, that's going to mean that he's going to be right around 16 yards per reception with an 18.5% target share and a crazy efficient 1.96 yards per route run. He has an average depth of target of over 15 yards, so these aren't little screens, these are chunks of yardage at a time. Then he sprains his PCL in week 4, disappears for almost 2 months, then comes back in week 11 and puts up a goose egg. But don't forget, it was his first game back, but not just that, it was Brock Purdy's first game back as well. Go out there and get Ricky Pearsall super cheap because he could end up winning you a fantasy championship.
Emmanuel, you making room or you've had enough of Ricky Pearsall?
I've had enough. Kendrick Bourne over there, Jennings over there, Kittle's over there. There's a lot of mouths to feed. And so I don't know. In terms of he's saying that you have an opportunity to win your fantasy league with Ricky Pearsall, I don't see it. So
okay, Scott.
I'm sold.
Wow.
Not that I think he's necessarily a league winner, but the explanation there started with buying low. You can get Ricky Pearsall because I think most people feel the way Emmanuel feels at this time. Mouths to feed, and Pearsall came back, didn't show anything, and the injury. I think you can buy him low, and this is a high-volume passing attack. Did you know that Brock Purdy was leading the league in yards passing per game when he got injured? They're going to throw it downfield, and I think Pearsall, at the price that you'll get him, he'll be more boom than bust.
I wouldn't take fantasy advice from Scott, though, guys.
No, that's fair. That's actually fair.
If you do get him, you have to put him in your lineup. That's what I'm taking away.
You got to put him in your lineup. That's kind of tough there.
Last one from our friend Faraz, who runs Upper Hand Fantasy.
Hey guys, I'm Faraz Siddiqui from Upper Hand Fantasy, and I think you should buy Bucky Irving. I know, Bucky Irving has been one of the most frustrating players for fantasy managers, but if you're looking like a team who is a lock for the fantasy playoffs, he might be the player you want to have for the stretch run and the final infinity stone for you to win that fantasy championship. First off, look at his remaining games. He has the 6th best fantasy playoff schedule. He gets Atlanta, Carolina, and Miami from weeks 15 to 17. And if you're worried about the shoulder re-aggravating, I wouldn't take the safe route here. While trading for him might be a bit risky, the Bucs are taking their time with him, and once he's back, he's likely to step right into the workhorse role that he's had on a great offense. He was the RB9 overall in fantasy points per game during his first 4 weeks before getting hurt, and he didn't finish lower than the RB16 during that span. His expected fantasy points per game was also right in line with where he finished as well, so you're not trading for someone who was overperforming on his touches. He was one of only 5 running backs to have 70 carries during that span. And the hope is that he gets clear for contact soon and you have a RB1 who you can get on the cheap, who can help you win a fantasy championship.
Scott, you heard it. Making room or had enough, Bucky Irving.
Emmanuel knows this. You can lose your job to injury. And I'm not saying Bucky Irving's losing his job, but the way Sean Tucker just performed just most recently, that young man's going to earn some more touches. I don't want to say I've had enough because Bucky Irving's a great player. And if he comes back and he's truly 100% healthy, I think he could really, really pop for people in fantasy. But I just think that there's enough share going on there. He's not going to be the RB1, clear RB1 if he comes back right away.
Okay.
For me, I'm going to make some room.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I look at my league, and right now, Bijan is my running back 1. Running back 2 has been very inconsistent. I've been trying to make trades and waivers, and I've been trying to find a legit running back 2 that's going to provide fantasy points. And I see a guy who has an opportunity to come back on a good team with a solid offense that if he gets the rolling, who knows? I feel like he's a guy that could take my fantasy league to another level if he hits his stride in the right fashion. So I'm gonna make room for him.
Before we let everyone go, our Chubbies League followers asked about a few players in the comments here. So let's do a quick rapid fire round. Emmanuel, you go first, then Scott. Making room or had enough. At M Schneider 936 wants to know about Kenneth Walker. Emmanuel?
Make room.
Scott?
Had enough.
Ouch. All right. From at Saul.R.Lopez13. Joe Mixon, Emmanuel Sanders.
Had enough.
Yeah. Had enough.
All right.
I mean, great player if he can get on the field.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We're out on Joe Mixon. Another one for you guys. At Hello There, Hey, wants to know your thoughts on Chris Olave. Emmanuel?
Oh, man. For my team, I'm a pass. Not making room.
Okay, Scott?
Olave, great player, but you got to play in that offense, and it's just not happening in 2025.
Nope, I don't think so either. All right, making room or had enough from at PC Project. What about Cooper Kupp, Emmanuel?
Had enough. Although I love what Clint Kubiak is doing over there offensively.
Yeah, I'm good. There are better options for more targets and more production.
Yeah, that's fair. It kind of seems like it's going the wrong way for him. All right, got a couple more. At Sky Raff wants some guidance on the Ravens' all-time leading receiver, Mark Andrews. Emmanuel, making room or had enough?
Making room. Look, I love what Mark Andrews does. Look, he can provide you a touchdown every week, and I think that's Lamar's number 1 target, so he's always looking for him. Definitely making room.
Did you know he's on a 36-yard rushing touchdown streak of 1? And I think that will continue. I'm telling you right now, the Ravens are going to turn that. They're going to be the number 2 tush-push team in the league, and they will do it with him. They will not do it with Lamar, and they've got counters off of it, clearly. So I think he's going to get another rushing touchdown at some point this season.
That was fun. That was a fun red zone moment. Good. All right, last one. At Jay Downey wants to know about the entire Titans running back room. That's Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, and Julius Chestnut. Emmanuel Sanders, have you had enough or are you making room?
I've had enough.
Out.
Yeah, we're good here. They're folding up the chairs and getting ready to head out.
All right, see you later, Titans. That was fun. There you guys go. Now you know who you need to trade for to go deep into the playoffs and try to beat our friends, which we like. All right, last thing for you guys. There is a lot on the line for everyone trying to take home a fantasy championship. There's also a lot on the line for teams finishing dead last, like maybe Scott. We have a special prize for the team that scores the fewest amount of points over the course of the season in the Chubbies League. They will have a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be part of a Chubbies photo shoot. But wait, where there is a photo shoot, there is a wardrobe. We may or may not have a special, perhaps, let's say embarrassing Chubbies item for that individual to wear identifying them as the fantasy flop around the world. And that photo may or may not be blasted across the internet for literally forever. You know what? Screw it. I'm the commish, and let's give away some more prizes. Starting, let's say right now, we have a sweepstakes open through December 31st, so you could be a winner even if you didn't get in on the initial league action, or even if your team, like Scott's, is where the Browns are right now. Take home the entire NFL by Chubbies collection of a team of your choice and win Chubbies for life. All you have to do is make an NFL by Chubbies purchase and you're entered to win. Check out chubbiesshorts.com/the Chubbies League rules for all of the details. All right, go make some trades, go win your league, and we'll see you back after the NFL regular season. We'll be talking playoff brackets, Super Bowl picks,
Let's go.
And of course, reveal the winner of the Chubbies League. You can find us at Chubbies on all of your social media. Leave a comment on YouTube or wherever you're literally listening to this right now. I'm the commissioner, Ian Rapoport, a.k.a. Rap Sheet. Scott Hanson and Emmanuel Sanders are your Chubbies League ambassadors. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you back here in January, and good luck in the fantasy playoffs.